Greetings, seeker of forgotten truths. Tonight we journey into the heart of a symbol so ancient, so universally revered, yet so profoundly misunderstood that its true message lies hidden in plain sight. I speak not of a forgotten scripture, nor a cryptic alchemical formula, but of a flower that emerges from the darkest depths, yet unfurls its petals in pristine purity toward the light. I speak, of course, of the lotus. For millennia, this enigmatic blossom has graced the sacred art and timeless philosophies of civilizations spanning continents and epochs. From the sun-drenched temples of ancient Egypt to the serene monasteries nestled in the Himalayas, the lotus has whispered its secrets to those who possess the ears to hear. But what if I told you that the lotus is far more than a beautiful bloom, far more than a mere symbol? What if it is, in fact, a living parable, a cosmic diagram, and a direct instruction for the spiritual journey of every human soul? Tonight we will peel back the layers of misconception and superficial understanding to uncover the profound esoteric wisdom encoded within the lotus flower. We will delve into its historical footprints, tracing its significance across diverse spiritual traditions. We will explore its anatomy, revealing how each part mirrors a fundamental principle of existence and enlightenment. And most importantly, we will unlock the practical techniques and insights that the lotus offers, guiding us on our own path from the mud of material existence to the luminous purity of spiritual awakening. Prepare to see this humble flower not just as a plant, but as a mirror reflecting the deepest truths of your own being. To truly grasp the hidden message of the lotus, we must first journey back in time to the dawn of conscious thought, where humanity first sought to decipher the grand tapestry of existence. Imagine the Fertile Crescent, the cradle of civilization, where the earliest agricultural societies looked to the rhythms of nature for answers. Or picture the ancient Nile, its life-giving waters nurturing a civilization that held death and rebirth as central tenets of their worldview. In both these distant echoes of time, the lotus emerged as a primary symbol, its life cycle mirroring the most profound cosmic and human dramas. Consider ancient Egypt, a civilization steeped in mysticism and a deep reverence for the cycles of life, death, and resurrection. Here, the blue lotus, Nymphea caerulea, was not merely an ornamental plant. It was inextricably linked to the sun god Ra, the very source of creation and light. Each morning, as the sun climbed above the horizon, the lotus would gracefully open its petals, revealing its golden heart, only to close again at dusk, sinking beneath the water. This daily dance was seen as a profound enactment of creation itself, the emergence of light from darkness, of consciousness from the primordial waters of Nun. Pharaohs and priests alike understood this. The lotus was depicted in tombs, on sarcophagi, and in sacred texts, often shown cradling the sun god or emerging from the primeval waters, bearing the nascent form of the universe. It represented not just the sun's rebirth, but the resurrection of the soul, the promise of eternal life. The deceased, much like the lotus, would sink into the darkness of the underworld, only to re-emerge in the radiant light of the afterlife. Move eastward, across the vast plains and towering peaks, and we encounter another civilization, equally ancient, equally profound in its spiritual insights. India. Here, the lotus, particularly the pink or white varieties, became a foundational symbol for a multitude of spiritual traditions: Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, to name a few. In Hinduism, the lotus is often associated with Brahma, the creator god, who is said to have been born from a lotus that sprang from the navel of Vishnu, the preserver. This imagery speaks to the self-generating nature of creation, the universe unfolding from a divine center, pure and unsullied. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, is always depicted seated upon a lotus or holding one in her hand, symbolizing purity, beauty, and spiritual abundance. Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and arts, also rests on a lotus, signifying wisdom that transcends worldly illusions. But it is perhaps in Buddhism that the symbolism of the lotus reaches its most refined and universally recognized form. The Buddha himself is often depicted seated on a lotus throne, and the Lotus Sutra is one of the most revered texts in Mahayana Buddhism. Why such prominence? Because the lotus perfectly encapsulates the core tenets of the Buddhist path to enlightenment. It grows in muddy, stagnant water, yet its petals remain immaculately clean, untouched by the impurity of its surroundings. This is the profound metaphor for the human condition. We are born into a world rife with suffering, attachment, and ignorance, the mud of samsara. Yet through diligent spiritual practice, through cultivating wisdom and compassion, we can rise above these defilements, achieving a state of pristine purity and enlightenment, unblemished by the world's impurities. The lotus, therefore, became the ultimate symbol of spiritual development, the journey from ignorance to awakening, from suffering to nirvana. In esoteric wisdom traditions across these cultures, the lotus was not just a symbol of external cosmic processes, but an internal blueprint for human consciousness. It was seen as a representation of the chakras, the energy centers within the human body. Each chakra, from the root to the crown, is often depicted as a lotus with a specific number of petals, blooming as consciousness ascends. The 1,000-petaled lotus at the crown, the Sahasrara chakra, symbolizes the ultimate state of enlightenment, the complete unfolding of human potential, the union with the divine. This historical and philosophical context is not merely an academic exercise. It is a crucial step in understanding the lotus's hidden message. It shows us that this flower is not a randomly chosen emblem. It is a universal archetype, a timeless symbol born from humanity's deepest insights into the nature of reality and the path to spiritual liberation. It transcends cultural boundaries because the truths it embodies are universal, speaking to the core of what it means to be human and what it means to evolve beyond our limitations. The lotus, therefore, is a living library of ancient wisdom, waiting for us to turn its pages. Now let us delve deeper, moving beyond the historical reverence and into the very anatomy of the lotus flower itself. For within its structure, within its very life cycle, lies an intricate code, a series of profound metaphors that illuminate the path of spiritual transformation. This isn't just about pretty petals. It's about discerning the sacred geometry of awakening. Consider first the roots of the lotus. They are anchored deep within the mud, submerged in the murky, often stagnant waters of the pond or lake. This is our starting point. This mud represents the material world, the realm of duality, suffering, and attachment. It is the ego-driven existence, weighed down by desires, fears, and illusions. It is the chaos of our unexamined lives, the unpurified state of consciousness. Many of us are born into this mud, entangled in its complexities, believing it to be our entire reality. The mud also symbolizes our karmic residue, the accumulated experiences and patterns from countless lifetimes that keep us tethered to the cycle of rebirth. To deny the mud is to deny our starting point, to reject the very ground from which our spiritual journey must begin. The lotus teaches us that we must acknowledge our roots, understand the conditions from which we emerge, without being defined or confined by them. From these humble, unseen beginnings, a stem emerges. This stem, strong and resilient, pushes upwards, steadily, relentlessly through the murky water. This stem is the spiritual path itself. It represents conscious effort, sustained practice, and unwavering dedication. It is the will to transcend, the yearning for something more than the mundane. The water it pushes through symbolizes the challenges, obstacles, and distractions we encounter on our journey. The doubts that creep in, the temptations that pull us away, the resistance we face both internally and externally. These are the waters we must navigate. The stem teaches us perseverance. It reminds us that growth is often unseen, happening beneath the surface, but it is constant and determined. Each moment of meditation, each act of kindness, each conscious choice to align with higher principles is like the stem pushing a little further towards the light. And then something miraculous happens. As the stem breaks the surface of the water, a bud appears. This bud is shrouded, tightly closed, protecting the nascent beauty within. This is the stage of nascent awareness, of spiritual potential awakening within us. It is the first glimmer of higher consciousness, the subtle stirring of the soul. The bud represents the period of introspection, of quiet contemplation, where we gather our inner resources and prepare for a grander unfolding. It is the promise of what is to come, the realization that something pure and beautiful is emerging from within the depths. This stage often involves inner work, self-inquiry, and a deepening connection to our inner wisdom. The bud also reminds us that true beauty and wisdom are often hidden, not immediately apparent to the superficial gaze. Finally, bathed in the warmth of the sun, the petals of the lotus begin to unfurl. One by one, in a graceful symphony of opening, they reveal the exquisite purity and vibrant beauty of the flower. This is the moment of spiritual awakening, of enlightenment. The pure, unblemished petals, untouched by the mud from which they came, symbolize the state of liberation, of transcending all earthly defilements. They represent the realization of our true, unconditioned nature, a nature that is inherently pure, wise, and compassionate. The open flower is the liberated mind, radiating love and wisdom, connected to the universal source. The heart of the lotus, often golden or vibrant in color, symbolizes the ultimate truth, the awakened consciousness, the divine essence within us. It is the very core of our being, the seat of unconditional love and boundless wisdom. The pure, radiant center, untainted by the external world, is the realization of our oneness with the cosmos, the recognition of our innate divinity. Consider also the sacred geometry of the lotus. Its petals often arrange themselves in a symmetrical, often spiraling pattern, echoing the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio found throughout nature, from seashells to galaxies. This isn't accidental. It speaks to the underlying order of the universe, the harmonious principles that govern all creation. The lotus, in its perfect symmetry, embodies this universal harmony, inviting us to align our own inner world with this cosmic order. The number of petals varies in different symbolic representations, but each number often carries its own esoteric significance, relating to specific energetic configurations or levels of consciousness. Moreover, the lotus has a remarkable property. Its petals are hydrophobic, meaning water beads off them, carrying away any dirt or impurities. This is the lotus effect. This physical characteristic provides a powerful metaphor for spiritual detachment. We live in the world, we engage with its challenges, its joys, and its sorrows, but we are not of the world. We can experience life fully without allowing its impurities to cling to us, without letting negativity or suffering define our inner state. We can be in the mud, yet remain pristine. This is the essence of non-attachment, of living with an open heart and a discerning mind, allowing experiences to flow through us without becoming permanently stained by them. The life cycle of the lotus, from hidden root in the mud, through the striving stem in the water, to the blooming flower in the light, is a precise, undeniable allegory for the spiritual journey. It teaches us that our origins do not determine our destiny, that purity can arise from impurity, and that true beauty and wisdom blossom only when we courageously push towards the light, shedding the limitations of our past. It is a promise, a guide, and a profound testament to the transformative power inherent within each and every one of us. The lotus doesn't just symbolize enlightenment, it is the process. Now, having explored the historical resonance and the anatomical metaphors of the lotus, you might ask, how does this ancient wisdom translate into practical application in our modern lives? How can this profound flower guide us on our own path from the mud to the light? The hidden message of the lotus is not merely philosophical, it is a profound instruction manual for living a life of spiritual awakening. The first and perhaps most challenging practical lesson of the lotus is radical acceptance of the mud. We often resist our origins, our past mistakes, our imperfections, and the less than ideal circumstances of our lives. We wish we were born into different families, had different experiences, or possessed different traits. But the lotus teaches us that the mud is not an obstacle to be overcome, but the very ground from which our growth emerges. Without the rich nutrients of the mud, the lotus cannot thrive. Practically, this means embracing your personal history, your shadows, your vulnerabilities, and even your suffering. Don't deny them or try to escape them. Instead, acknowledge them with compassion and curiosity. What lessons can be learned from your struggles? How have your challenges shaped your resilience and empathy? This isn't about wallowing in negativity. It's about recognizing that every experience, no matter how difficult, contains the seeds of wisdom and growth. Acceptance of the mud of your life frees up immense energy that was previously spent in resistance. It allows you to transform your perceived weaknesses into sources of strength and your past burdens into future wisdom. The second practical teaching is persistent upward striving. The lotus stem does not bloom instantly. It pushes steadily, day after day, against the resistance of the water. This symbolizes the consistent and disciplined effort required for spiritual growth. There are no shortcuts on this path. Enlightenment is not a sudden lightning bolt, but the cumulative effect of consistent practice. What does this mean for you? It means establishing and maintaining a regular spiritual practice. This could be daily meditation, mindful movement like yoga or tai chi, dedicated study of spiritual texts, or consistent acts of selfless service. It means showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it, especially when the waters of life feel turbulent. It means cultivating patience and resilience, understanding that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to refine your approach. Just as the stem does not give up, neither should you. The upward striving is the commitment to continually elevate your consciousness, to choose awareness over unconsciousness, wisdom over ignorance, and love over fear, moment by moment. Next, the lotus unveils the wisdom of purity amidst imperfection. The most striking feature of the lotus is its pristine beauty, despite growing in muddy waters. This is the profound teaching of non-attachment and discerning awareness. You are not your circumstances. You are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. These are all ephemeral, ever-changing aspects of your experience, much like the water and mud surrounding the lotus. To embody this, cultivate the lotus effect in your own life. Learn to engage with the world without letting its impurities cling to your inner being. This involves developing healthy boundaries, both emotional and energetic. It means practicing discernment, recognizing what serves your highest good and what pulls you down. It means not internalizing the negativity of others or allowing external events to dictate your inner peace. Through practices like mindfulness and self-observation, you can learn to witness your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. You can participate fully in life's drama without letting it define your essence. This isn't about becoming indifferent or aloof. It's about cultivating an inner sanctuary of purity that remains untouched by external chaos. The penultimate lesson is unfolding in your own time and radiating your true self. The lotus does not force itself open. It unfolds naturally, gracefully, in its own time when conditions are right. This speaks to the importance of surrendering to the natural rhythm of your spiritual evolution. Comparison is the thief of joy and often the thief of spiritual progress. We often look at others further along the path and feel inadequate, or we rush our own journey, forcing experiences that are not yet ripe. The lotus reminds us to trust the process. Your journey is unique, and your unfolding will happen at its perfect pace. Focus on consistent effort, but release the expectation of immediate results. Allow yourself to bloom naturally, revealing your authentic self without force or pretense. And as you unfold like the lotus, you are called to radiate your true essence outwards. This means living in alignment with your highest values, expressing your unique gifts, and contributing your light to the world. It is about letting your inner beauty and wisdom shine forth, inspiring those around you, simply by being who you are. The lotus doesn't try to be beautiful, it simply is. Finally, the most profound message of the lotus is the inherent purity of the soul. No matter how deep the mud, no matter how turbulent the waters, the lotus flower always emerges pristine. This is the ultimate truth about your own being. Beneath all the layers of conditioning, ego, and worldly experience, your true essence, your soul, is inherently pure, whole, and divine. It is unblemished, perfect, and eternally connected to the source of all creation. This understanding is not merely intellectual, it is a realization that can profoundly transform your life. It means recognizing that you are not broken, you do not need to be fixed, and you are not fundamentally flawed. The spiritual journey is not about becoming something you are not, but about uncovering who you truly are, revealing the luminous lotus already residing within. This perspective fosters self-compassion, forgiveness, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. It liberates you from the endless pursuit of external validation and grounds you in the unshakable truth of your own divine nature. The hidden message of the lotus flower, therefore, is not a secret to be guarded, but a truth to be lived. It is an invitation to embrace your journey, to cultivate perseverance, to remain untainted by the world's impurities, to unfold authentically, and ultimately, to realize the pure, radiant essence that has always resided within you. So, seeker of light, as you carry the hidden wisdom of the lotus into your days, remember, your awakening is not yours alone. It is a ripple through the collective soul of humanity. If this message stirred something deep within you, help us keep this sacred current alive. Like this video, share it with fellow travelers, and subscribe to walk further down this path with us. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next unfolding of ancient truths. And tell us in the comments below, what hidden wisdom would you like us to reveal next? Until then, tend your inner lotus and bloom fearlessly toward the sun.